Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first virtual Delta Kappa Gamma New Jersey State Convention. It is my honor and pleasure to be a part of this convention, and I want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Arjun Safari, and today I will share with you some of my experiences as a Fulbright Distinguished Teacher conducting research in Finland. I will also share a little bit about Finland, its history, some of the cultures, traditions, and some of the projects that I conducted collaborating with the Finnish teachers when I returned back home. A little bit about the Fulbright program. It was established in 1946 under legislation by then Senator William Fulbright of Arkansas. Fulbright traveled abroad and realized the value of exchanging ideas and learning from each other. And that's how he decided to fund this program. So it is funded by the United States Department of State and the Fulbright Foreign Scholarship Board. Since then, approximately 294,000 Fulbrighters, 111,000 from the United States and 183,000 from other countries, traveled and learned from each other. A total of 155 countries participate in this program worldwide. The distinguished Fulbright alumni include recipients of 54 Nobel Prizes, 88 Pulitzer Prizes, 29 MacArthur Foundation Awards, and United States Presidential Medals of Freedom, and the list goes on. You can click on the link here, which you will have access to my presentation under the YouTube link that this will be posted at, and you can read more about the program in brief. My program is only one of many that Fulbright offers. This is a Fulbright Distinguished Awards in Teaching program that was established relatively recently, about 15 years ago, and already has established itself as a valuable program that brought a lot of research, valuable research, and exchanged ideas between educators around the world. In 2019, 35 teachers from the United States were selected to travel to several countries. 9 teachers traveled to Finland, 4 to Helsinki, and 5 to Jyväskylä. I traveled to Helsinki as I have requested to participate in a study being hosted by Sibelius Academy of Music. So why Finland? Many of us know that Finland has been recognized as a world leader in education, especially after the Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, began in 2000. This test measures the abilities of 15-year-old students in math, science, and reading, and it is administered every 3 years. So Finland caught everyone by surprise when it became the top performing country in Europe. But my personal interest in Finland was born when I learned about phenomenon-based learning, as well as numerous research projects, such as the Arts Equal project. Phenomenon-based learning is a learner-centered, holistic approach to learning with global perspective. This is clearly not a new concept. However, what's new is its inclusion in the school curriculum. Ever since 2016, the Finnish Ministry of Education basically included phenomenon-based learning as part of the curricula. So all teachers must conduct at least one phenomenon-based project a year. And this project has to be conducted between teachers in different subjects. So it breaks boundaries between different departments and subjects. And it is a learner-defined phenomenon that is at the center of exploration. So this is what's different about phenomenon-based learning as compared to, say, project-based learning, is the phenomenon that's being discussed and researched is something of an interest that has a world, world importance. So it could be poverty, world economic sustainable development, and some other important topics. This clearly changes the role of teachers because students are now basically driving the learning process. They are developing the topics, they're developing the means of creating the projects and developing the projects. And hence the motivation for learning is enhanced. But there's also a lot of collaboration and cooperation going on in those projects, as well as creativity. In this picture, you see Petteri, who is a well-known specialist in phenomenon-based learning in Finland, conducting one of his projects with students. As you can see, there's a very independent learning process going on between different groups of students. They are divided in their groups as depending on what subject, what phenomenon they are observing and researching. And the teacher is simply facilitating the learning process. So let's go back to Finland and talk about the location of Finland. This is a pretty exotic Nordic location, and it has been called the land of extremes because there's midnight sun from May to August, and our polar nights. But all four seasons are clearly present in Finland. However, winters are pretty long. It is situated between Russia, Estonia, Sweden, Norway, and it is considered to be greenest and most peaceful and stable country in the world by Environmental Performance Index of 2016. One beauty of this country is that, of course, there are so many surrounding countries, and travel in this country is phenomenal. You can visit all those countries that are bordering with Finland, but also travel to other countries in Europe. Finland has also been called a land of the thousand lakes, and this is not an exaggeration. 10% of that is fresh water. And some of the biggest cities are Helsinki, which is the capital of the country, Espoo, Tampere, Vantaa, Oulu, and Turku, Turku being the first capital of the country. There are two official languages, Finnish and Swedish, and it has been an independent republic since 1917. The currency is euro, and it joined the European Union in 1995. A little bit of history from the 12th to the 19th centuries. Finland has been a province and then a grand duchy under Sweden. And from 1809 to 1917, Finland was an autonomous grand duchy of Russia. And it was only in 1917 that Finland has gained the complete independence from Russia. And hence, it's been a little bit over than 100 years that Finland has been independent. During World War II, Finland actually defended its independence through cooperation with Germany. Hence, it resisted subsequent invasions by Soviet Union. But because of it, it lost some territory, for example, Karelia. Today, Finland is transformed from a farm forest economy to diversified modern industrial economy. And per capita income is among the highest in Western Europe. It's pretty amazing what Finland has been able to accomplish in only 100 years of independence from Russia. The flag of Finland, also called Siniristilippu, blue cross flag, it represents Finland's heritage link with the other Scandinavian countries. The blue represents the many lakes that are found over Finland. The white represents the snow that covers the entire country during winter. The two official languages that I mentioned before, Finnish and Swedish, are absolutely different. And what really shocked me in the beginning is that even the names of the stations on the tram or subway were, of course, displayed in both languages because there are two official languages, but they were absolutely different in their sound and in their pronunciation and the way they were written. So this is one of the stations written in Finnish, Hietalahtendori, and this is the same station pronounced and written in Swedish, Sandviktorgen. So clearly, I was very confused when I first arrived. And looking at Google Maps had a tendency of choosing Swedish as the main language. So I was confused when I was hearing Finnish, and I just really couldn't understand what was going on. So this is a very clearly interesting phenomenon in Finland, and Finnish language is extremely hard. Finland has been, for the third time in a row, ranked the happiest country in the world by the 2021 World Happiness Report. It was always ranked very high on the measures of mutual trust that has helped to protect lives and livelihoods during the pandemic. But when I asked Finnish people back in Finland, what was what was the reason Finland was ranked so high, their answer was, "Well, I'm really confused. Am I the only person who's not happy?" I think the truth behind this is that it's not that one of the Finnish friends told me, it's not that we go out on the streets and dance and sing songs and put smiles on our faces. It's that we feel secure in our government and we have a sense of trust in each other and in our government. And I think this is the basically the foundation of what makes Finland unique, and what also makes the Finnish education system unique is that sense of trust. That is also translated in the working life in Finland. So, for example, there is a lot of informality and lack of hierarchy in Finnish education system, in businesses, and in general in the governmental system as well. That means that people feel comfortable talking to each other regardless of their ranks. And the whole culture of sauna, or sauna in English, but sauna in Finnish, basically brings down the differences between different levels of people. So once you're in sauna, there is no president or custodian. Everybody is the same. So a lot of people conduct businesses in sauna. And there is also the extent of gender equality. You will find a lot of female executives keeping high top-notch positions, and really enjoying respect. But there are also generous holidays. And one important thing that Finnish people admire is silence. They really love when people can just respect silence. That is also an interesting thing to observe in the classrooms, where teachers give their students a lot of time to think, and silence is pretty okay. I was also surprised to learn that Finnish people love to drink coffee. Key features of Finnish modern welfare state are high quality education, promotion of equality, and national social welfare system. The photo here is actually the Central Public Library in Helsinki, which was built in 2017. In December, there was a big opening to celebrate the 100th year of independence of Finland from Russia. I mentioned the saunas. There are more saunas than cars in Finland. Here on a picture, you see my daughter who visited me during my time in Finland. And we took this sauna that is actually on a Ferris wheel in the center of Helsinki. An incredible experience. You see the beauty of the city, and yet it's a private car that you have. One of those, there are several of those cars on this Ferris wheel that have saunas. But as I mentioned before, sauna is the most equalifying experience. There are no social hierarchies, and poor and rich are in the same sauna. This is why conducting business in saunas is very common and unique. And once you shake hands there, then the deal is done. So what do the Finns do in their free time? They read books, walk, exercise in nature, travel abroad, very big, solve crosswords, travel in Finland also, do some self-assessed learning, spend time at summer cottages is also big, cook or garden. The most popular sport is ice hockey, of course. And there are motor sports that are very popular also. Soccer and athletics are big in Finland as well. In 2019, the Finnish hockey team actually became world champions. And I had a privilege of being at the time in Helsinki and observing the incredible partying and, celebration that was going on when this happened. It was something not to be missed. Food, I was really surprised to find out that food was absolutely delicious, and that was something I didn't expect to find. For on the left here, the curd salmon sandwich is a very popular um lunch menu item, gravilohi. Then in the center here, korvapuusti cinnamon buns are absolutely delicious. On the right, these are originally from Karelia, rice pies, karjalan pirrakka. On a bottom, Finnish meatballs, lihapulat. And on a bottom right, sauteed reindeer, poronkaristus. So I highly recommend Finnish food. I did a lot of studying, researching, connecting with educators, which was my most favorite part. Shared some of the innovative methods of teaching in the US with colleagues from Finland and Europe. But one of the main things that I considered was my goal was to serve as an ambassador and improve the image of the American education abroad by sharing the best practices and personal experiences. I believe that I helped increase the mutual understanding between the educators and students in Finland and the US, especially when I came back. And that was, and that's a process that still continues, but this was one of the most gratifying experiences for me. If I were to just give you an idea as to what my experience looked at the glance, that there were presentations, visits, school visits, classes audited, doctoral seminars visited, interviews, meetings, conferences, conventions, festivals, of course, rehearsals, being that I was there as a music teacher, concerts, incredible museums that I bought a yearly pass to attend the museums, and it's an unlimited pass, and I just enjoyed the incredible museums that Helsinki had to offer, or actually all over the Finland I traveled. But these are some of the pictures that I wanted to briefly share with you of some of my presentations, and those are taken from Finland, France, Germany, and Russia, both in classrooms, in the universities, among doing presentations for teachers or students, and also running master classes with choirs. The K through 12 schools in Finland that I visited, as you can see here, there are different grade levels and different subjects as well. In fact, there are schools outside of Finland that I also visited. These are schools in France, Germany, and Russia that I visited. And here on the left, you see the German student wearing a Pascack Valley sweatshirt that she won as a part of the trivia game that we played with them, that they were supposed to uh, guess the American pop song and the parts of the American school based on my video that I was showing them. It was pretty fun. Then these are some pictures from the classrooms that I visited. As you can see, their subjects look very different than they are. There was a theater class, there was math, literature, science, different world languages, physical exercises, gym classes, ethics, music classes, of course, different, music classes. Then I also attended classes at the University of the Arts. This was a lot of fun because I especially focused on music education programs and learned what it is to learn what it is that makes music education so unique in Finland. And it is extremely comprehensive, and the number of subjects and skills that are required for music educators are unique. I should mention that teachers in Finland must have a master's degree. You cannot teach in K through 12 education system if you don't have a master's degree. That's another important point that shouldn't be overlooked. Then there were doctoral seminars in Tampere, Turku, Helsinki, and I also visited Jyväskylä University, and of course at the Sibelius Academy of the Arts. And some of those seminars, as you can see here, were also conducted internationally, where the participants joined from other countries virtually. There were interviews that I conducted, meetings. This one meeting actually here in Greece with another Fulbrighter who had her exhibition. She's an art teacher, incredible teacher. She had her exhibition, and I had a honor of visiting her in Athens. This is in Finland, in Helsinki, and Russia, and in France. So those meetings were absolutely precious. I've learned and connected with educators of high quality and learned a lot from them. And of course, interviews. And these are again in different countries: Germany, France, Finland, at the universities mostly. There were a lot of conferences and conventions that I attended. So both organized by Fulbright or just by other organizations. And so those were incredibly unique in many ways. For example, this one here is a workshop by one of the King's singers, and he was doing a workshop in Sibelius High School for their choir. This one was in Denmark, a festival. This is a Fulbright organized, those two were Fulbright organized conventions, and this is a festival at Sibelius Academy. There were rehearsals and school concerts and Fulbright meetings that were also very fulfilling. Events with Fulbrighter families were, of course, very close to my heart. I traveled with my son, who was a junior at the time, and he attended the high school in Finland. And so some of those pictures are with him, and he played in the orchestra there. This was actually one of the community orchestras he joined, and he joined several of them. This was a coffee event organized by the Fulbright organization, alumni organization, actually, and it was a lot of fun. And my son was extremely happy because he won the competition based on their ability to taste coffee or come up with some best. And of course, the ice skating was a lot of fun, and that was one of the unique things that we did in Finland as well. The culture in schools is basically different in many ways when you talk about, for example, what is the core important aspect of school culture in Finland, and that is promoting well-being of students and really developing student social skills, their ability to communicate with each other. And I think that is unique. This is a group of Fulbrighters from my year, some incredible memories and connections that I made with these people. Now, Finnish teachers really surprised me with the fact that they love to have fun. So these ladies here actually wrote some Finnish textbooks, but this is how they love to, have fun in between their meetings and writing their books. And Taina, an incredible music teacher from fifth grade, actually classroom teacher who teaches music as well. That's her major. She received her PhD while I was there. And those two things that the Finnish education is proud of is they give the new hat and a sword to those who receive their PhD degrees. And then here on the right is Petteri, an incredible Fulbright actually himself, but he's a history and social studies and culture teacher. He likes to dress up to work when it's appropriate. Again, lots of fun to work with and to collaborate with. One of the unique aspects of Finnish education is that all students go through the same early childhood education experience. And so the same values are being instilled in those students from a very early age. And then pre-primary education is for 6-year-olds, and their basic education actually starts at 7-year-old, not 6-year-old. And this is where the comprehensive schools start, and students from 7 to 16 years old attend this basic education school. High schools are not a requirement in Finland. So they have a choice of going either into vocational schools or going into the upper secondary schools, which is our regular high school experience. From there, they have an option of continuing at the University of Applied Sciences. That's the case with a lot of those students who go through vocational schools, or they can go to bachelor's degrees into universities and then continue into the master's. And either way, whether you graduate from the University of Applied Sciences of the regular or a regular university, you can flip-flop and attend the University of Applied Sciences for your master's degree or go into the master's degree for the regular university. And then all of those graduates also have an opportunity to continue their studies and receive their terminal degrees in doctoral degrees in the universities. The unique aspect of Finnish education is that there are no dead ends. There are all these opportunities for those who want to continue their studies. And of course, the fact that education is completely free in Finland explains why there are so many well-educated Finns who have, two master's degrees, PhDs, and also received them from different countries as well. Because as a member of European Union, a Finnish citizen can study anywhere in Europe for free. So an incredible system of education in that sense, that it opens up all those opportunities. um, what I learned from my observations is that there is a big emphasis on learning to learn. It's not about taking. It's not about what your scores are, what you, or perhaps what you learned in class even, but it's about what you are, what methods are you using to learn, and instilling love for learning. And if needed, you can find ways to learn what you need to learn, but you have to be able to find ways of motivating yourself. And so that comes from strong values of responsibility, compassion, and community that are instilled from a very young age. And I believe that very a comprehensive and unified system of early education really feeds this system from the bottom up, because the students are taught very important values from a very young age. Responsibility, for example, in preschool they are taught how to dress themselves and how to undress when they have those breaks in cold winters. So they don't get any support from teachers. They are supposed to do that on their own. Then they have to clean their dishes after them. There are no disposable dishes, so they have to clean everything after themselves and put everything in dishwashers. And so there are essential skills that are being taught at the early age, and they have to do with the society and the culture. Then there is also big trust in teachers. I mentioned this before, and of course that is absolutely um, the foundation of what the whole education system is relying on, because there are no official evaluations and the supervisors or principals are also teaching. There is no single administrative position that does not also involve teaching, and this is done on purpose so that they can always be grounded and understand what the needs are in the classroom. And so highly educated, as I mentioned, they have to have master's degrees, and respected teachers have autonomy, and they can implement the curriculum the way they find that is most useful. Now I have to mention that there is one unified curriculum, national curriculum, that all teachers follow. However, there are many opportunities for teachers to implement that in a way that they find fit in their classroom specifically. So in general, the entire nation believes that education is the key, because they believe that part of their success in the past 100 years that they've been independent from Russia or Sweden is actually education. And that's because of education that they were able to succeed. And again, I mentioned the absence of hierarchy, but there is also a concept of sisu, which I want to briefly mention. And this is a unique concept that I didn't know about until I visited Finland. It's a world that explains Finland. Basically, the nature of Finns is that they are modest, honest, and they have a deep sense of trust. But the sense of sisu is something unique to this nation, and it's an extraordinary determination and resoluteness in the face of extreme adversity. Sisu comes from a Finnish root word that implies inner or inside, and there is no direct translation into English, but it is translated sometimes as guts or inner strength. It's really a mindset, um, stoic determination, hardiness, courage, bravery, all those things together. And the most important thing is that Finns don't go around and go, brag about having sisu. It's just a thing that they carry. They don't talk about it. And that whole concept goes back to 500 years or more. And it is an action oriented mindset. You don't brag about it. There are books written about it, and then when I share this presentation, please feel free to follow those links and read more about it, because it's an incredibly interesting concept, which I found was so important during the pandemic times, because you see how those students were really flourishing in these circumstances where others would be um, you know really struggling. uh, so how does that affect the Finns in their physical and mental being, the communication with their family and the loved ones? their education system, their ability to make the most of the extreme weather conditions. Um, because, as we know, Finland is a land of extremes in terms of the weather as well, and their ability to deal with life crisis. So this is the reason why I decided to focus on the inquiry project, which is a part of what you have to conduct as a Fulbrighter, and do a project that would focus on identity and belonging and how struggle defines who we are. There are links here in this presentation, which I'm not going to go into right now, but again, please feel free to go into those links and you will learn about what the project was about and is still in the works. This inquiry project was supposed to, is targeting 7 transversal skills that are present in the Finnish curriculum. It's thinking and learning to learn, taking care of oneself and others, managing daily activities safely, cultural competence, interaction and expression, multiliteracy, the computer competence or technology competence, competence for the world of work, entrepreneurship, and participation and influence, building the sustainable future. And all of this is a development as a human being and as a citizen. A lot of this really reminds us of the whole child approach to education. And what I wanted to do is to connect those goals with those that are now being presented in my own district. And some of them really went together very well. For example, growth, learning, assessment, and mindset, equity, authentic real world learning experiences, mental health and resilience, feeling connected, and interdisciplinary connections. My first collaboration with Kulosari and Tapiola high schools was about cultural stereotypes. I want to share a video here, a short video that one of the Finnish students took of the Finnish schools. And this will explain to you a little bit about what Finnish schools are about.
Hi, my name is Onni Ara and I'm a student at KSYK. Now me and my friends are here to tell you a couple of things about our school and the Finnish education system. In Finland, students are given very little homework, which is excellent. Homework takes up only around 30 minutes every day. And that is because we are graded not only by our homework, but also classwork and especially class participation. Sometimes we are given longer projects, which may take up days or even weeks to complete in our free time, but despite that, I still believe that every Finnish student has plenty of free time to engage in hobbies and hang out with their friends. And now we'll meet one of them. Hi Daniel.
Hello. So, in Finland, most school days start at 8 o'clock, somewhere around 8:15 or 8:30. We often also have days that start at 9:45 and very rarely days that start at 11 o'clock. In Finland, we have 3 obligatory language courses, which include Finnish, English, and Swedish. We also have many optional courses, such as German, Spanish, and in some schools, Italian or even Latin. Hi, Osta.
The Finnish mandatory schooling system is about 9 years, after which we are graded from 4 to 10. After that, most people go to school for at least 3 years, or possibly more. Hi, Ronnie.
Hello. As you can see, in my hand there is a fruit. The KSYK school supplies us with many different kinds of fruits. They are very healthy and we can eat them at break time. Now, if you look to our left, there is our glorious cafeteria. The cafeteria provides us with the greatest quality food known to man, and it's free. And now it seems like we might be approaching the end of our tour. And I would just like to say thank you for your time and goodbye.
Goodbye.
When we talked about cultural stereotypes, students learned a lot about different Finnish traditions. For example, I didn't know about this hobby horse championship. that more than, for example, when I was in Finland on June 16th, more than 2,500 people came to take in the sites to watch the riders, mostly girls, aged 10 to 18, um, basically riding against each other on toy horses. And what was the highlight of the event? That Finland scored their new high score jumping record of 4 feet 7 inches. And there were different countries that were competing here. There's another really fun and unique championship. It's a wife carrying championship that was originated in Finland. But this is a unique experience. And, again, you can watch the video when you get the link to this presentation. I also learned while in Finland about penkarit, which is a Finnish high school senior tradition. And this tradition is the last day when the seniors are in school, and which is actually in February, because what they do is they finish going to school and then start preparing for their matriculation exams so that they can take those exams and graduate from high school. But being that this is the last day of their high school, they celebrate this as graduation. And they hire those big trucks, and then they write meaningful messages. And there's also a party in the school auditorium where they put on a video and some show that is meaningful to that graduating class. And then they throw different candies to the spectators. And this is a huge thing in Finland, and I was lucky enough to observe that. And then there is another tradition. The day after this, actually, the juniors now become new seniors. And there is a senior ball, or the junior going into senior year ball, where students wear formal dresses and formal attire and dance numerous formal dances. And this takes a lot of preparation, several months of students actually attending those dance classes in school. And this tradition has been going on for many, many years in Finland. And I was absolutely in awe of the level of preparation and the class that the students were presenting this with. And there, I want to also mention a tradition of Vapu. On May 1st or April 31st, there are 2 days actually, where Finnish nation all together celebrates this Vapu. And this is a celebration of education, basically. Everybody gets together in the parks and they just enjoy the day. And we're lucky to have a beautiful day on that May 1st of 2019. My nephew, or my son's cousin, came to visit him. And here he celebrated his birthday, which was on May 1st. And we were gathered in the Central Park here. And as you can see, people are wearing those white caps. And a little bit about those white caps. Very unique Finnish tradition, where when you graduate from high school, you are given this unique cap that symbolizes the fact that you graduated. And it has a little bit of a symbol here that symbolizes the Helsinki University with a lyre and music symbols. And people wearing those caps honor education. But you can see here that those caps also look different. Some of them have tassels attached to them. And those are the graduates from colleges, specific majors. For example, science, I believe, and technology majors wear some of those tassels. And so wearing this cap is a pretty big honor. So it was pretty incredible to watch this gathering. So a little bit about the project Pasiola that I conducted with. This is a phenomenon-based project that I conducted with culinary arts teachers at Pascack Valley, Julianne Dons, and we had a blast collaborating with high school in Helsinki, Pascack Valley High School and Tapiola High School. So the project then became Pasiola, the combination of the two names. And the students had a blast talking to each other and collaborating, and we're pretty happy about the final project. What was teaching like during COVID-19 in Finland? It was fully online from March to June of 2020, in person starting in the fall of 2020, and fully online again from late November to January 2021. And small groups are now allowed to meet with some permissions, but mostly the learning took place through Zoom breakout rooms, WhatsApp, and different programs like that. Of course, as many of us, depending on the area and the access to technology, students had some Wi-Fi and connection issues, but teachers were really excited to be able to at least meet online to plan lessons together.
What I didn't expect was that the backgrounds are so different, and the school makes students more equal. And because of backgrounds, they don't have these computers at home. Maybe they don't have the mobile phone. So we had a big problem with that. I was the lucky one. In my class, there were none without the mobile phone. But I know in many classes there were. And we have the same language, because nowadays we have in Finland many students that come abroad, they don't speak at all Finnish. And then the first we had to find a way. I used first WhatsApp with the kids because they had learned how to make their homework, so they put the pictures and so on. And then I had this OneDrive. I gave them what task they had to do and where to bring them own works. And then we had these meetings every day, because it was very, very important to meet the children face to face through computer every day. Because there were sad things. Everybody didn't have food at home, or they were not treated well at home. So the social part was a surprise for me. I didn't know I was quite social worker also, not just a teacher. I had to take care. How are you doing? Can you cope with the situation? Are you health? Are your family health? Oh, your father lost a job. How can you cope with this one? And how can I help these students go through with these times? Not just the music wasn't first thing then. I had to put it inside, but I had to make also not just we have to do this. I had to make also some fun parts in the task. It's just not we do everything. We had to have also fun and spirit lifting things in there. And then of course, how can we had in spring we could sing together. We had a virtual choir. And we made it together, all sang their parts in the cell phones as mobile phones, and we put it together. So it took hours of work, because I hadn't done anything like that before, and I didn't cope it alone. I had my colleagues, and we together made this happen. So I haven't met my colleagues. It's sad, because I really need to talk to them. So we had all our groups, we had all meetings online and on phone. One thing is many like language teachers or math teachers, my subject is very important. You must do this. You must a bit get looser. You might get loose a bit. Have this humor, help people cope with the situation. So now it's a time to appreciate the things we have, the most important things. Relationships.
That's well said.
Friends, family, the class we have, and this, and the music. Music is one social glue that can bring you good mood. You can listen together music, you can have the same mood. And even if you can't sing, you can maybe play music. And at the meaning of the music is now maybe more deeper now. It's not just skills we are learning. It's like being. Music is being. Yes.
So of course, being interrupted by COVID, we had to switch gears, and my inquiry project was a stop. I had to put a stop on my project, which was supposed to be original musical written by students in Finland and in the USA about struggles. The topic being so relevant to what the students were going through. So what I did is I conducted several projects that were related to my final project of conducting this or writing this original musical. Those would be the stories that the students taught to each other when they were conducting those projects.
I have created this website that includes some general information about the Fulbright collaboration with the Finnish colleagues. but also has the collection of some cultural stereotypes projects that we've conducted. This include both Finnish and American students. Project Pasiola, that's the project that we've conducted with our culinary arts teacher, Mrs. Julianne Downs. You can watch her interview here, short explanation as to what the project was for her students. And then there are also links here to the student projects, videos or Google presentations that you can access to learn more about what the projects were like. And especially hearing from the Finnish side is pretty cool. Then there is also a link with COVID-19 projects here. These projects were conducted during COVID last year and this year. And they were actually true collaborative projects because students connected with each other via either WhatsApp, their phones, Instagram, and Google Meet, Zoom, and they conducted those projects together. So, and then they presented during classes, which was another very interesting experience, only unique to COVID, of course. And the students were reflecting on their struggles. And there are also some student testaments here that you can watch. I also would like to direct you to my site where I have put a separate link about Fulbright. And that will bring you to, there are some blogs here that I wrote, but also the site separate that explains Fulbright Awards in Teaching program, talks about my final project. You can also learn about the project itself, what the project incorporates, identity and belonging. As I mentioned, this was a project that was supposed to be a collaborative musical, but at this stage we're just putting small pieces of it together, hoping that we will next year hopefully pick it up and have this whole project done collaboratively between the Finnish and American students, where they would be writing that original musical, capturing their struggles and experiences. Perhaps this time now they would be focusing on COVID experiences.
I want to share with you what the Finnish teachers thought about the project and the experience that we had.
Muistuna Karjalamaa, mutta vieläkin syömässä soinahtaa. Kun soittajan sormista kuulla saa. Säkkijärven polkkaa. Se polkka taas menneitä mieleen tuo.
We've had the privilege of taking part in a global exchange with Miss Arjun Safari and her students from Pascack Valley High School. The beginning was exciting and the ending quite dramatic. It was when the coronavirus was spreading in the world and affecting schools everywhere in a drastic way. No wonder then that some of the final projects on lockdown were simply superb.
We teach English as a foreign language to 13 to 19-year-olds, and this collaboration gave our students, in this case 16 and 17-year-olds, a chance to use their English skills in an authentic situation. And although the students already speak English very well, this global exchange greatly increased their motivation to become even better communicators. As they contacted each other through video calls, they were also able to see each other and interpret each other's gestures. And this project included a lot of group work and therefore also problem solving. They had to divide work, encourage each other, and manage with a 7-hour time difference. A global exchange is like a simulation of what they will find later in life. The courage to approach and share ideas with complete strangers on the other side of the world. Most importantly, I think our students learned about another country from an individual's perspective, and we realized that we are really not that different. The best feedback that we got was that some of the stereotypes and prejudices our students had were corrected during the project.
We got a chance to share and exchange ideas with a colleague in another country, that's Archie. And for the two of us, it was a unique experience to share with a colleague. Of course, sharing makes the workload lighter, but also the joy of seeing how much the students enjoyed and learned from the projects was so much better when you had someone to share it with. As teachers, we loved reading feedback which said, it was fun to work with the US students and hear about their day-to-day life. I hope that this can be arranged again because I want other students to have this fun experience too. So we absolutely want to, and we will continue this global exchange, and we warmly recommend it to anyone.
Well, think about skill sets that global exchanges build for students are perseverance and creativity, collaboration and communication skills, critical thinking, also teamworking skills and language skills, not forgetting the IT skills mentioned above, because it does require clear planning with a timeline and goals with the other teacher, shared interests in the outcomes, and also clear instructions and time frame for the students. Now, flexibility is a big thing. You have to be prepared for sudden hiccups that just occur in schools in either end. But all in all, when an international project is led well, as it was in our project with Arjun, there are only benefits as students learn so much. Teachers also benefit from learning how things are done in another country. And I must say that Arjun has a thorough understanding on global exchanges, and working with her was a total pleasure. I'm also looking forward to working on a new project with her this fall. And all in all, thank you all for listening. Bye-bye.
When we first started working with the Finnish students, I was kind of nervous because I wasn't very familiar with their culture. But when I finally got to speak with them, I realized how similar we were, especially with the things we struggle with, such as keeping up with virtual school. It was humbling to learn more about their life and be reminded that there's so much more going on in the world than what's happening in America, something that I think many of us forget when we get wrapped up in our country's problems. I think virtual exchanges like what we've done in Miss Safari's class have helped me develop a better global perspective, especially in European culture, which I'm not too familiar with.
During March and April, I reached out to some of the Finnish students that I had been talking to just to say, hi, like, are you guys doing okay? And what they were doing to combat the pandemic. So it was really cool to see that I could still talk to these people and still connect to these people, even though I felt almost shut off from the real world. It was a great experience. I realized that even though culturally some things are different, we're still teenagers, you know, and we still feel the same thing. So it was cool to see those parallels between two completely different countries and to be able to see a whole culture come to life through people.
Säkkijärven polkka. Se polkka on vain mutta sellainen, että tiellesi johtavia muistojen on sointuna Karjalan kaunoisen Säkkijärven polkka.
That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me through my email, asafari@pascag.org, Twitter, or visit my website for more information and more ways to contact me. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the convention.